Rebels.com here in Tiger, Georgia. Y'all are Wildcats, Tigers, all that kind of stuff. Feline, I guess, part of the state of Georgia here in the mountains at Rabun County High School. Gunner Stockton, one of the top 22 prospects in the country, recently came out with that, I guess, final two, Georgia versus South Carolina. Let's talk about South Carolina. Obviously, people that have followed you in recruiting, and you've been going through this, already for multiple years, and you're still just going into your junior year right now. So you're kind of a veteran, in recruiting in our world. And you're so low key and laid back, and don't like all the hype and the spotlight. So people may or may not know, but you have multiple connections to South Carolina. I guess with Mike Bobo being the coordinator there now. His father lives right here in Rabun County. You've worked with him since you were 5, 6 years old?
Yes, sir.
At quarterback, as a quarterback coach, so you had that connection with the Bobo family. Your head coach, J-Bo Shaw, his brother Connor, played quarterback at South Carolina. So there's multiple connections there. How much did that play into, I guess, South Carolina landing in that final two?
Yes, sir. I mean, going to South Carolina, just knowing that Connor's there. I mean, he was my role model growing up, going to watch him play at Flowery Branch, and then watching every game at South Carolina. I mean, that's a big part of me, just feeling like I'm at home. But and knowing Mike, Coach Mike, and I'm really good friends with Drew, his son. But it's a big part to me.
How much is J-Bo involved? Obviously, being the head coach. I mean, do you hear? Obviously, he played at Georgia Tech. Do y'all talk about recruiting much, or does he kind of separate that? Or?
He doesn't. Coach J's good to me. I mean, I honestly talk the most to Coach J. My dad, I mean, we don't really talk about it that much, just because, whenever I want to talk about it, he's there for me. But they don't lead me on anywhere. They just want the best for me, and when I want their advice, they'll give it to me, and it's really good. I like it.
You've been to South Carolina. How many times do you think for games over your years?
I've probably been to 3 or so.
What do you remember, or when you think about game day in Columbia, what comes to mind to you?
The fan base is pretty crazy. Everybody's into it. When they play Sandstorm, everybody goes crazy.
Have you ever had that towel swinging it around when they play?
That's
probably not your style.
Yeah, everybody's crazy.
So the game day atmosphere. What's your response to their thoughts on their fan base? What they're like on game day.
Georgia and them, they're very similar. But the last time I went with Charlie Warner's family. He took me to a game to watch them, and it was really awesome. What
would you say, I guess, if you took the Shaw and Bobo, name out of it? What else about South Carolina stands out to you?
Probably where it's located. I'm a real big, I like to hunt and fish, and just the town. I really like Columbia, and the area is really nice.
I guess, what's their style, how they come at you, their approach to recruit you? I mean, obviously, like you said, Coach Bobo probably better than any other coach that recruits you, just a personal level. Obviously Connor Shaw, stuff like that. What's their approach? I mean, do they, pump their school on you? Do they talk X's and O's? They talk about, hey, fishing life here in Columbia? What's their approach?
I mean, kind of really all that. They just really want me to know that I'm their guy, and Coach Bobo is really. I mean, he doesn't pressure me at all, but they really recruit me good.
This coming up season, we're all praying that there's college football this season. What do you want to see in South Carolina when you watch them? Whether if you guys can go to games, which right now probably not going to happen, but if you're watching them on TV and they're playing this fall, what do you now, as a guy that's seriously considering them as a school in the future for you? What do you look for? Are you watching, offensive play calls? Are you watching in personnel groups? Are you watching just how the team plays, the coaching on the sideline? What do you watch?
Just to me, watching the coaches, how they interact, good, bad, how they react to everything. Watching some plays, seeing what they do, and hopefully everything goes good this year.
Have you gotten to that point with Bobo about talking X's and O's yet? About, hey, if you did end up at South Carolina, we do this with you, or have y'all talked about schemes and stuff like that?
Not really down deep into it, but a little bit, yes, sir.
How would you describe Bobo, Mike? Not the dad George, but Mike. I mean, how would you describe?
He's very similar to Coach Bobo.
The
George,
dad? Yeah.
yes, sir. But they're
When
really.
you say similar, what do you describe that? People don't know like you do.
They got a really good sense of humor. They're really good Christian man. They're really good dads. Coach Bobo, George Bobo has been really good to me. But they're really good, humble and honest people.
What about, I guess, your talks with Muschamp? I'm sure you interacted with him some too, the head coach, Will Muschamp. Obviously another guy from Georgia, played at Georgia, been head coach at Florida, now South Carolina. What's your thoughts on him and the time you've had to interact and talk with him?
The first time I went to a spring practice, me, Coach Jay, and my dad went, and it was early in the morning. And we were watching it practice. I mean, he was off the chain, just yelling at people. And I talked to him in his office afterwards, and I was like, oh, crap, I don't know how this is going to go. But, I mean, it's two different separate people. I mean, he was really nice. And, I mean, you wouldn't think it was even him. But he's really genuine, and I really like him.
Are there any unanswered questions you or your family may have about South Carolina that you're still trying to look for the answers for, or things you want to see maybe in the coming months to help you get to that point to commit to one of these two schools?
Maybe just hopefully getting on campus, maybe for a game, if hopefully we can, but just getting back on campus and getting that feel.
When you gave, I assume obviously you've talked to them, or you did prior to putting out your final two. It's almost like committing in a way. Hey, you're one of my top schools. I mean, what was their reaction? Kind of take me through that. How did you, I guess, deliver that to them about, hey, you're going to be in there. I'm cutting my list down. You're still involved. How'd that go for you?
It went good with Coach Bobo, because I have a really good relationship with him. He was like, good. Hope it doesn't change. Hope we don't change anything. And asking me like, what else can I do for you? Like, were you doing everything good? And he took it really good.
Well, Gunner, always a pleasure, man. If South Carolina fans are watching this, just waiting to try to see what they can pick out of your answers. They have a chance. Can they beat Georgia for you? I mean, obviously, you're one of the top quarterbacks in 22 class that has handled all this with, I feel like, just so humble and maturity, and I could say many other, I think, positive adjectives that describe you. So thanks so much for your time, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.